Welcome back, everyone. We have some good news for you. Last night, the Hearing Protection Act passed as part of the Big Beautiful Bill.
Of course, as has been mentioned about the silencers, is just beyond comprehension.
Now, right up front, one thing we need to know is that the fight isn't over yet. We will get to more of that here in just a second, but the Hearing Protection Act, as it was written originally, is what was in that bill, meaning it wasn't watered down, meaning that should this pass the Senate, should it go to the White House and be signed, suppressors will no longer be on the National Firearms Act, no longer subject to it. So no registry, no enhanced background check, no having to notify your chief law enforcement officer, no paying the $200 tax stamp. They will be regulated as a firearm. There's pros and cons to that. I'm going to get into that in a different video, the pros and cons of regulating it as a firearm. Many people, myself included, believe that, of course, they just shouldn't be regulated at all, just like hearing plugs or earplugs. It should be the same thing. It's just a safety device. However, there are pros and cons for some folks. Video for another day. Now, one thing to note is that the SHORT Act, was not in there, so it was not included. However, it can easily be amended. It takes literally one senator to add it to the bill, so it can absolutely be done. The switchboard number will be down here on the bottom of your screen, as well as in the video description. So you can go ahead and call that. You have two senators, everyone does. There's two senators for each state. Make sure you let them know that you want the Hearing Protection Act to remain in there and the SHORT Act to be put in there. If that happens, it will go back to the House for a quick vote. It should be relatively simple, and then it will go back to the Senate, another vote, and then onto the White House to be signed. Now, the SHORT Act, for folks who don't know, is going to do the exact same thing that the HPA does for short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, and AOWs. It will remove them from the NFA, meaning that you won't have to worry about having a barrel on your AR-15 that is, 14 and a half inches and having to get it pinned, so that way you don't spend 10 years in prison and get fined up to $250,000. Yes, it is that insane. Those types of arbitrary laws where we have people literally right now rotting in prison because their barrels were an inch too short. It's crazy, and no one should be subject to that in America. So again, call your senators, let them know you want HPA to stay and you want SHORT Act to be put in. Again, it only takes one of them to do it, and it can be done. This is crazy. Again, it's been over 90 years that people have been under this repression of the National Firearms Act. Somebody is loud. But that's really all I have for you. Again, contact your senators, let them know you want HPA to stay and you want the SHORT Act to be added to the Big Beautiful Bill. And honestly, this is historic legislation. I am super stoked about it. If you had asked me if this was going to happen 5 or 6 years ago, I probably would have said no. However, I would have said it would have been possible through the courts. But in fact, Congress is actually doing something for once in the case of the Second Amendment, which is I applaud them for. I'm glad they did. And honestly, I don't think any of it would be happening without YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter. Without those, I don't think this would happen at all. But we got their attention, and they're doing the right thing, at least on one front. We need to get them to do the right thing on some other fronts as well. But that's all I have for you. Thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.